SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader.
Thank you, Kravani. Top stories at the SAWA. AfriForum wins its hate speech case against Malema and a call for an overhaul to Britain's banking industry. Good afternoon. ANC Youth League President Julius Malema has lost the hate speech case brought against him by civil rights group AfriForum. The Equality Court, seated at the High Court in Johannesburg, declared struggle song Dubula Ibunu or Kill the Boer as hate speech. Judge Colin Lamont says the song post-democracy unlawfully singles out white Afrikaners and farmers as the subject of hate. The court interdicted everyone against singing the song, and Malema was ordered to pay the cost of the trial. Judge Lamont says the struggle song was originally directed against the apartheid regime.
The words, bracket the words, close bracket, set out constituted hate speech on the occasions the first respondents sang them. 1.1, Audubula Ibunu. 1.2, Dubula Amabunu by a Repa. The first and second respondents are interdicted and restrained from singing the song known as Dubulo Ibunu at any public or private meeting held by or conducted by them, bracket the song, close bracket. The words and the song constitute hate speech.
National Intelligence Agency Director General Gibson Njenje has not resigned, nor has he been asked to vacate his position. This is according to his lawyer, Jeff Bortz. A weekend newspaper reported that Brian Dube, spokesperson for State Security Minister Siyabonga Cwele, said that Njenje had resigned. He said the minister had accepted the resignation and had thanked Njenje for his services and contribution to the national project of securing the country. The spy chief is said to have had an acrimonious relationship with President Jacob Zuma and Cwele over the direction that the NIA ought to take before the ANC centenary elective conference in Mangaung next year. Bort says his client is still reporting for work as per usual.
According to my client, there have been discussions between him and government regarding a possible alternative position for him in government. Those discussions are not yet finalized, and so at the moment Mr. Njenje remains in his position.
Teachers Union SATU has criticized the Western Cape Education Department for allegedly failing to provide alternative transport for learners in the Southern Cape. This follows the suspension of the bus company involved in an accident which killed 14 learners of Renendale Primary a few weeks ago. Deputy Regional Secretary Sphiwe Mbalo says many learners are struggling to get to school.
The only thing that we proposed to the department that we just want a speedy recovery. There must be an alternative that they can't just stop the learner bus transport. There must be an immediate alternative. They must have a contingency plan.
And further afield, a team of South African divers has arrived in Zanzibar to help find the bodies of around 200 people who drowned in a ferry accident on Saturday. The 12 divers who arrived last night will try to access the submerged hulk of the MV Spice Islander to free the bodies that are stuck inside. Rescuers have managed to save 619 passengers out of more than 800 on board the vessel, which was on its way to Pemba from the main island in the Zanzibar archipelago. The most recent official toll puts the number of dead at 197. Efforts to retrieve bodies have so far been hampered by a shortage of divers. Later today, Zanzibar President Mohammed Shein will lead prayers for the victims and their families in the island's capital, Stone Town. Back home, the Steve Biko Foundation say there's a lot that still needs to be achieved with regards to educating young South Africans. Today marks the 34th anniversary of the death of anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko in police custody. Chief Executive Officer of the Steve Biko Foundation and Biko's son, Nkosinathi Biko.
We recognize, of course, that there is a great deal of work yet to be done to educate, in particular, younger South Africans about our history, and certainly also about the history and contribution of Steve Biko. But we are much better off, I must say, than we were perhaps a decade ago, when then there certainly was no such thing as a Steve Biko Foundation.
Further afield, the Independent Commission on Banking in Britain has called for far-reaching changes to the banking industry to try to prevent a repeat of the 2008 banking crisis, which led to a huge bailout by taxpayers. The ICB, set up by the government, calls for banks to shield their customers from the impact of riskier investment banking.